I was sitting in the back. They got my name. They talked to me, and I was still very nervous. And I was thinking maybe this may not be for me. But then he said something that I always remembered. He said, "The most important person here today is Enrique. He came here. He wants to improve himself, and we're gonna do everything we can to help out Enrique." I just felt so good. It's like here I am, a nobody, and yet he was saying that I was the most important person in that meeting. It was that person who said that Enrique is the most important person we have today. And that's when I said, I'll join Toastmasters.
So here we are with Evolving in Toastmasters. I have a special guest today, Enrique DeJamco, who I met through Toastmasters in the Fort Monmouth Club. At the time, when we met, Enrique, do you remember what you were working, where you were working, and who you were working for?
So I came here in 2010. So I believe at that time, I was working with PM Tracks at that time, and I left PM Tracks and joined POC3T Mission Command around, I believe, maybe 2011, 2013.
Now, when you say here, you mean
Here in Aberdeen.
Aberdeen Proving Grounds.
Yes,
A transplant from Fort Monmouth came down in the BRAC, correct?
that's correct.
All right. Now, again, before we jump into the Toastmasters part of the interview, I wanted to have a little fun, getting to know our guest, so our listeners can know who you are, and have an idea of your background. And so when you answer the Toastmasters questions, they can put that into perspective.
Sure.
So this kind of be like table topics where but without a timer. I'm gonna give you a question. You can talk as little or as much about it as you want, and maybe we'll have some back and forth and lead to some other questions. But um, let's start with that one's a pretty tough one. Let's start with that one. You've written your autobiography. What do you title it? What do you title your autobiography, Enrique?
A title. Hmm.
Like, what kind of message do you want to send out to the world? What do you want to tell
Okay.
like, what is your, what's your purpose? It's a big question.
Yeah. A better society.
A better society. I like that. What are some of the kind of things that you do to build a better society?
I guess to help people. And this is where I know we said don't talk about Toastmasters yet, but Toastmasters kind of in line with that. I think it's not just about, like we said, helping yourself, but helping others in many ways, to help somebody be the best they can be, and hopefully they do the same thing, and it's like a chain effect. You help them, they help other people, the other people help other people, and if we do that long enough, maybe the end result is more people will be helping each other instead of fighting each other, and we'll have a better society. It's not just Toastmasters. It could be helping somebody unfortunate, helping the poor, helping who has a unfortunate circumstances and just give a helping hand.
Well, in Toastmasters, we use our speech evaluations to help each other. We're certainly a club built to support each other and help each other grow in public speaking leadership. But out in the real world, at home, in your career, can you tell us a short story about a time when you helped somebody?
Probably a lot of them, like I said, in Toastmasters. My friend who is also my best man, he was kind of shy. I invited him to Toastmasters, and I believe with all the things that we've received from Toastmasters, it kind of maybe helped him out to be more open, just like me, uh, to be a little bit more confident on himself. And I think that's one way that I was able to help, somebody um, to
And
better themselves.
he knocked that best man speech out of the park, right?
I wasn't really thinking about that, but yeah.
All right, let's slide into the next question here. What is the proudest moment of your life so far? If you could pick one moment that you were just the proudest of either yourself or somebody else in your life, what is the proudest moment?
I would say probably my kids, tried to, they're 16 and 9 years old. Um, I try to help them out. And so far, they're very respectful. I always says, just be the best you can be. As long as you're respectful, a good person, I'm happy with that. And I think so far they're pretty good people, respectful, helpful, and that's all I can ask for. So I'm proud of that because it's hard to raise kids, as you know.
Yeah, I got two. They're 15 and 12. And I certainly have my share of proud dad moments. You have a particular moment you want to share with us today?
Mm, well, my son graduated from Christ the Teacher, and he was a member of the Honor Society, even though I wasn't really looking for him to be, like I said, uh, to be in the honor side, just do the best you can. And yet he was there. So I would say I'm proud of that. Um, Before COVID, he was a very good swimmer. He was competing in nationals. So I'm proud of that.
Very cool. Um, all right. Do one more of these questions. Oh yeah. Okay. If you could go back in time to witness a historical event, any historical event ever, what would you choose? Anything on your mind?
A historical event. Something probably very nice. I wouldn't say historical, but a past event, probably. I probably would want to watch my wedding. It was kind of a blur. Even though I have the video, I haven't really seen the video since it was taken. But I will, instead of watching a video, yeah, I probably would like to be there. Not a historical event, but it's an event.
Yeah, it's an event in your life that's very important to you. I can
Yeah.
understand. Mine felt like a blur too. I have those specific moments that I remember, uh, and all the people that I tried to say hi to,
Yes.
and some of them I only caught a glimpse of them as they were packing up to leave, you know, as or as we were leaving, as
Yes. Yes. And I got a little sick, maybe because we were doing so many things before the wedding. I think my immune system, went down. My eyes started getting red.
Oh no.
a little tired. That's why I was always saying people get a good night rest. Don't do anything last minute. Relax. But yeah, I would have liked to been there and maybe and enjoy it the second time around.
That's a good point. Good night's sleep the night before.
Yes.
I didn't trust myself enough to, get in good night's sleep, not, you know, um, stay up late or something like that. So I had a friend sleep in the room with me and make me go to bed.
Because the day before,
I was a nervous wreck.
yes,
We had a great party the day before with a bunch of friends that came down, and I got to nighttime and I was just like, I don't want to keep on partying, man.
right, right. Yeah, well, we got a wedding to go to. I remembered going to Jersey City to well, it was only an hour from Fort Monmouth. I was living near Fort Monmouth at that time. Went to pick up a cake, drive an hour. Uh, no, I think I may have bought the cake in that morning because the wedding was in the afternoon. I think I drove to Jersey City to pick up the cake and then bring it to the restaurant. And I think the cake tumbled and it wasn't so nice. And the restaurant actually bought another cake to
Oh.
replace the other one. And I thought that was nice of him. I said, I drove there for nothing.
Well, hopefully that wasn't on video. Oh, but you won't forget it.
Yes, yes. That's why I said I think I want to see it again, including the reception.
That's a good choice. I like that. Um, all right. I think we're warmed up. Our faces are nice and flushed from the smiles now. We can move into some of this Toastmaster stuff. Yeah, some
Sure.
of the stuff might be some of these questions might be a little more difficult, a little more personal decisions you made. So,
Hmm.
wanted to have us, smiling and warmed up. All right. So, first, I want you to try to remember what brought you to Toastmasters. I know it's a long time ago. I joined in 2012, and you were before that, so it's more than 11 years ago. So,
Yes.
what brought you to Toastmasters, if you remember?
So I was working at Fort Monmouth, and I have a coworker, and I believe it was probably early 2000, 2002. I don't remember the exact year, but it was in the early 2000 because I just started working in the new branch. His name was Arthur Walters, and he said, "Oh, I'm going to Toastmaster. Why don't you join me? I think it would be helpful." So I went there with him, and I kind of just sat there, didn't do anything, and I wasn't even thinking about joining. So the meeting was over and came back, and they said the next meeting when the next meeting will be. I said, let me go there and ask him if he want to go. He didn't want to go, so I had to go alone. But of course, I started getting nervous. I remembered I started having sweaty palms, but I said, well, let me get the courage to go there. Maybe it'll help me. You don't know. So I went to the next meeting, and then there was the general evaluator, either the general evaluator or the Toastmaster of the day. And I was sitting in the back. They got my name, they talked to me, and I was still very nervous. And I was thinking, maybe this may not be for me. But then he said something that I always remembered. He said, the most important person here today is Enrique. He came here, he wants to improve himself, and we're gonna do everything we can to help out Enrique. And I just felt so good. It's like here I am, a nobody, and yet he was saying that I was the most important person in that meeting and that they're gonna help me. And I said, wow, this is a nice group. I might, yeah, I might join. And I also remembered there was this one guy. He works here at APG, and I believe I got, I don't know, got cold and for a table topics, and he was the timer, and I didn't know how the timer works before, but he said how much time I spoke, and I was thinking, wow, that was nice of him. He went to the last minute, a minute and second, and he said, Enrique spoke for this long. I said, oh, that's nice of him. He actually took the time to time what I was saying. And that made me feel good. But it was that person who said that Enrique is the most important person we have today. And that's when I said, I'll join Toastmasters. And I became a member. I believe then not long after that.
That is quite a technique, and to make your guests feel special, included, and let them know that they're in the right place to get that help. Because you're feeling nervous, the sweaty palms and stuff.
Yes,
That's the exact feeling that you should get before you go to something like this, and those feelings are why you join Toastmasters, to get over that, to get through that, to learn to cope with it. Um,
exactly, because you're going there, you don't know the people, and I was basically a shy person, and to go there, it makes you very nervous, I guess, but that was the reason why I joined Toastmasters.
all right. Well, I knowing you now, Enrique, I wouldn't know that you were so shy, because you certainly don't strike me as a shy person uh when we're together. Um,
I don't know if, and well, I might as well tell people, in high school, I was voted the shyest person.
yeah. All right. We might have that in common. I was pretty shy too. All right. Um, so can you tell us some lessons that you learned in Toastmasters and how you apply them today in your career?
Just be prepared on tasks that you have to do because of the projects, of course. When you give your projects or your speeches, you have to prepare, and sometimes you have to practice, right? Giving your speeches. And when you're giving a presentation or doing a project, you apply what you learn at Toastmasters. You do your preparation, you practice, and then you give it and just do your best, just like in Toastmasters. I believe that's the most important lesson I've learned from joining Toastmasters.
All right, awesome. Prepare, practice, and just do your best.
Yes.
Awesome. So, uh, what do you feel that you accomplished in Toastmasters that has pushed your career forward?
I think it helped me, um, to be able to talk to high level people because of I try not to think of them as well, you still show respect to them, but your Toastmaster experience kicks in. You try to talk to them as normal people, which they are. Somebody once told me, because when I first started working, they put the same pants one leg at a time, I think, just like you do. They put on socks one leg at a time, one foot at a time, just like you do. So I think that helped me, move forward with my career, to be able to talk to them. In fact, I want to share a story. I went to a conference one time in Baltimore, and I was, it's lunchtime, and they have a lunchtime speaker, and this is a big conference room. And I got there a little late, and I was looking for a table to eat lunch, and I was hungry, and there were only some tables in the back with available chairs or seats. And I asked them, "Oh, mind if I sit here? There's no more seat in the front." They said, "Oh yeah, go ahead." And then I started talking to them, and then I realized one of them was the former commanding general of Fort Monmouth. He retired. And then next to him was another retired general who was head of the directorate that I was supporting before. And I just started talking to them, like I said, like normal people. In fact, I told the one guy, "Oh, sir, I saw you in the Discovery Channel, and you started the digitization of the Army." And he was like smiling. He was like so proud. And I started talking to the other general, and I told him, "Oh, sir, I started working on your project. I was doing this," and and we just got to talking, and next thing you know, at the end, both of them gave me their card. I never expected that, and I was saying, "I'm just a little guy, and they're giving me their cards." So I think Toastmaster helped me to be able to, like I said, talk to higher level people uh, without getting too nervous. Like I said, if you keep doing this enough with Toastmaster, then Toastmasters, the practice kicks in. And that helped me forward with my career. Helped me in my career, I don't know, moving forward, but I believe it helped make my job a little easier.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, sometimes it can be hard to talk to those high level people because they have big decisions to make. They have leverage on your career.
Yes.
In that instance, um, and you don't want to be intimidated. You want to rise to the occasion. So it sounds like that you have that ability. You've certainly done it socially.
Yeah, I
Awesome story. Really appreciate you sharing that.
I interviewed for a job one time, and I got picked out of many people. But then again, my boss kind of made a deal with me to get me to stay. Uh, I didn't really want to leave, but he kind of forced me to leave because. But then he made a deal to kind of do what I was looking for. So I kind of declined it. But for me to be able to be picked out of a lot of candidates, I felt was an accomplishment. But at least I was able to stay with the job that I like working on and be able to help me get what I was asking for, I guess.
Yeah, people underestimate the accomplishment of getting picked for a job like that. It's if you impressed quite a few people to be able to get picked. And in government positions like that, they review a lot of things. They look at a lot of candidates.
Yes. So like you said, I felt proud, and I believe Toastmasters helped me be able to get that job if I wanted it.
Yeah, I would say it gave you the tools to be able to negotiate with your
Yes,
current boss for what you wanted to do. Yeah,
exactly.
awesome. All right, so I got two more questions on
Sure.
Toastmasters. Um, First one is, uh, you left the Fort Monmouth Club. You've taken some time off. You've come back, and then you left again. Are you in another club right now? Are you doing Toastmasters at all, or are you in a hiatus?
I, so I am in hiatus, but I don't know if you remembered. I joined just right before COVID, and when COVID happened, it kind of made it a little harder, because we were kind of at limbo at that time.
Right.
The meeting stopped. I don't believe we started doing Zoom until after that. So it was kind of uh, hard for me to come back, even though I still want to. And I want to join again, and I'm gonna ask you later, because I'd like my son to join it, but we can talk about that later. But no, my plan is to rejoin. I may need some mentoring, because it's been a while. I know they've made a lot of changes. They have something about path uh, forward or whatever you call it. So I may need mentoring on what they've been doing now with Toastmasters. But my plan has always been to join Toastmasters, and I think we're getting back to normal. And if we start having in-person meetings again, I look forward to doing that soon.
Awesome. I'll make sure that you're included. Um, we're coming up on uh, the changeover from the club officers. So July 1st, new club officers start, and we may be taking the club in direction for more hybrid in-person meetings. So right now we're meeting on the third Wednesday in person in the building 6008. So if you're on site on Wednesdays, you know, third
Yes.
Wednesday, that's when we're meeting in person. The
Yeah. That,
the
like I said, it's kind of hard too when we had the teleworking.
Yeah,
Sometimes you're not there. But yeah, I may be able to come in when we're meeting in person. We'll see. Yeah.
right. And then the first Wednesday, we're still doing that virtual meetings. We're still on Zoom for those.
Okay.
But the
Okay.
third Wednesday of the month, I'd love to see you in 6008.
Sure. Yes.
So we got a small group that gets together right now, and I want to grow that. Especially since we have another group that's trying to form over in Edgewood. Um, they're uh, they joined us virtually. I'm hoping they can come to Aberdeen for the next meeting.
Yeah. Oh, great.
But um, yeah, we'd love to have you back. Pathways is the new education program. It's you know uh, built to help you achieve your goals.
Okay. Yes.
Whereas the uh, the manuals were great because you had physical um, information to read and to write your notes on, and you could bring them to the meetings. But it was very hard to figure out what to do next to meet your goal because it was there wasn't anything that gave you direction to, all right, do these manuals if you want to do this,
Mm-hmm.
um, or do this kind of leadership project if you're interested in this. It was always hard to do that, but in pathways, it allows you to take a direction uh, depending on what goals that you have personally.
Okay.
That'll really help you. It helps a lot of us get going where we want. So for me, this podcast is part of one of my paths where I'm trying to develop a social impact, bring my message to YouTube and Twitch and Facebook and put it out there.
Oh, okay.
So I have a few different projects that I have, but this one is kind of the Toastmasters centric one that's lifting off the other ones and helping me push that. So working on these interview skills and being able to talk to people,
Yes.
while I'm uh, getting my message out there.
Yes.
So uh
Oh, great.
I think that covers all the questions I had Toastmasters related. You gave us some awesome stuff. I'm not gonna forget your first Toastmasters meeting and how, or I guess it was the second one, how that guy made you feel, recognizing you as the most important person in the room as a guest and helping you get going in Toastmasters. I thought that was awesome. I'm gonna take that and apply that for sure. And then this podcast will hopefully share that with more people, and more people can use that in the future to help guests and new Toastmasters feel welcomed, included, and um, feel like they're in the right place to accomplish what they want, to
Right.
get
Yes.
a public speaking fear, or just accomplish growth in their
Mhm.
communication leadership skills.
And like I said before, my main goal at first was personal one, to help improve myself. But then later on, I realized I can also use that club not just to help me, but to help other people. And I thought that was something that maybe, I can use. I like to help people. And if we do that, then like what I said before, I don't be a broken record, then they can do the same thing and hopefully it'll spread around the world.
That's right. And we're going to build a better world.
Yes.
All right, bring it full circle. Thank you, Enrique, for taking the time to speak with us today about Toastmasters, your experience, and a little bit about yourself. Your answers are going to help current and future Toastmasters have a better experience and reach new heights. That is it for Evolving in Toastmasters for today, and let's build a better world. Thank you, Enrique, and thank
Thank you, Nick.